Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology Update for April 15th through 22nd, 2024. Well, wow, how was your eclipse? Very powerful energies. And the astrology is telling us that that eclipse was a very powerful moment in time, but it is still unfolding. Are you feeling it? Quite an activation. And the current astrology is helping us understand what just happened and continues to unfold because we are still technically in eclipse season until we come to the following lunation after the last eclipse, which is the Scorpio full moon. That happens on Tuesday, April 23rd. So look out for an activation for that. That's going to be happening at 10 a.m. Mountain Time on Tuesday, April 23rd, Scorpio full moon activation. So that full moon marks the end of eclipse season, and there is so much going on astrologically over this next couple of weeks, telling us that this is just the beginning. The eclipse seemed to be like a gateway, a portal. Just step right through, leave that shit behind, and get ready for a whole new reality. Message after message in the stars right now, everything is saying it's the end and the beginning. And so the end of the end, the beginning of the beginning, the beginning of the end, I don't know. But we can tell that this is a very powerful transformational time. And the mother is telling us, pay attention, come into your sacred space, be living and breathing and stepping in the prayer of her dream at this moment in time. Because what we're really feeling now is Jupiter coming into conjunction with Uranus. This is so epic and powerful. We've had a couple of years of Uranus in Taurus, and now they meet up at 21 degrees and 22 degrees. And so Jupiter coming up, Jupiter moves a little faster, about a year in a sign for Jupiter. And so Jupiter's coming up and finally catching up to Uranus. And it's so powerful. Now, Jupiter is about expansion, amplification, growth. Jupiter's kind of like a crystal. It just brings more of whatever it comes across. In this case, it's coming across Uranus in Taurus, and Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and so it's speaking to the issues and the energies of the Aquarian age and previous Aquarian ages, which we're still trying to heal. And so Uranus represents higher frequency vibration and advanced technologies. So the technologies that are external to our body, but also the technologies available within our own body that have been stolen from us through very elaborate manipulations, genetic manipulations, psychological manipulations, lies and delusions over thousands of years to try to keep us from remembering who we really are in our higher power. Do you see the potency behind this conjunction? That Jupiter, our expansion, Jupiter represents the new and it represents more. And so Jupiter in Taurus is representing new money and more money, new wealth, more wealth, and really true wealth. Now, get this, because we're kind of have come to this understanding that we are the disclosure. Supernova souls, by definition, we've already had previous experiences. We've gone through spiritual evolution, as we've gone through spiritual ascensions. And so our wealth, we're coming to find, even though it was persecuted and demonized in the Piscean age, our spiritual wealth, our spiritual gifts is the greatest wealth. It's what you take with you when you leave this realm, which we know isn't what really, there's so much more. And it's like, so Jupiter more is representing the so much more of Uranus. So Uranus was discovered at the time of electricity, and at the same time as electricity, so it's associated, and you can kind of feel this when there's a strong Uranus placement in your birth chart, or astrologically, like this one coming up, very much affects the nervous system. It's like zingy energy. And so it's a higher frequency activation. And so Jupiter is bringing more and wealth and expansion of our true wealth and this higher power that's ours. So this is the message that we've been getting from the mother, is that she's waking up and we're coming home to her, and that all of the energy and resources of this realm belong to her and us, because we are the rightful stewards, because we stand with her. We're in alignment with her from the beginning. We've been with her. This is why it's been so tragic for us, why we've had to go through so much trauma, because we've been fighting for her and with her, our mother, the divine feminine, this manifest world, this physical reality. Our earth is a living, breathing goddess, and we get to walk upon her. Except for that, those forces of control have sought to keep us disconnected. Because if we are connected to our mother and we feel that that we're cared for and we have what we need, then that population is much more difficult to control, that population. And so we had to be disconnected from our mother. And then what we're doing is coming back into this, and there's this very powerful energy on the earth of an absolute alignment and agreement of the true human souls that are connected to the mother, stand with the mother, say, hey, whoa, we're seeing that it's her world. It's her world, her way. And the technologies and the people that would cause harm with the technologies that would cause harm can no longer exist in this realm. All must come into alignment. And this is what we're doing too, because if the earth, Mother Earth, this goddess, she's the divine, a representation of the divine feminine, and she's our body and we're her body. And so when we claim dominion, our rightful dominion over our body as our property, our energetic field, this is the key to living in these times. We are being bombarded by frequency vibrations that are damaging and harmful. These higher frequency energies being used to create harm against the average everyday citizen. And it can no longer continue. The mother says no more. It's got to come into alignment. And it must happen now. And this is what this Jupiter-Uranus is. So it's corresponding to this very powerful message as we claim back our earth and the resources, saying no more causing harm with her resources, no more creating trauma and drama narratives with the power of the projected reality of humanity. We were hijacked. And so we've also been hijacked in our physical body with the nanotech and implants and in our energy field. In order for any of that to work, they have to have access to our energy field. So we literally are owning back the earth, owning back our technologies, owning back that this energy and resources and mechanisms can no longer be used to harm life. And we're doing this, we can do this for the earth as we do it in our own body, in our own energy field. And this is the why this course series, Owning Your Energetic Field, and look out for an upcoming session. We're going to be working with specifically the sacral chakra. And so owning your energetic field, accessing creation energy, very powerful work. But by owning our field and understanding our energy anatomy, understanding that we have this energy body that's actually more real, more powerful than our physical body, they don't want us to know about this. And they've actually hijacked it. And we've all been implanted with biosensors. And they're like literally affecting and reading for healing, for health, but they won't tell us about it because we're not getting the miracle cures that this technology could bring. We're only getting surveillance and harassment and manipulation. But what happens when that doesn't work anymore? You know, we've been occupied and taken over in our physical body and our energetic field with these technologies, except for that we're more powerful. Our energy's more powerful. The life force that's available in our own body, in our energy field, our God-given birthright, is way more powerful than these frequencies, and we can protect ourselves. And then what happens when all they're doing to try to keep us in low frequency vibration is no longer working? And that's where we are. And get ready for this massive activation. The Jupiter Uranus conjunction has an energy of higher chakra activation. It's like blowing the lid off of it, and kind of like that whole thing of overcoming all fear programming, because in order to keep us from our own power and keep us controllable and keep us so they can feed and farm us, we had to be a crucial factor to that was we had to be scared of our own power. And they went through a whole planetary catastrophe just to program us in Atlantean time of fear of our own power. And that was our technology we were working with as advanced souls, absconded and used as a weapon against us. This story's been going on a long time, and it ends now. It's a glorious and beautiful time to be alive. And I know every day it can feel like a fight. Now, this is the energy of this Aries, because this total solar eclipse happened at 19 degrees Aries in exact conjunction to Chiron, right where Chiron is in the birth chart of the US, speaking to the death and rebirth of the ideals of our God-given right and our God-given freedom, to our own energy. See? It's all about this. But those ideals were thwarted from the very beginning through the banking control factions of the world, right? United States, America never got a chance to get off its feet into this demonstration of freedom because it was manipulation all the way along. And so we're still working to bring forward these ideals that we have these God-given rights by existence, to life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, maybe privacy we could add in there. So we are still working with these ideals. And so this eclipse is a death and rebirth, hiding and revealing of this wound of America, which is the wound of why we, the people, never really got the power that we proclaimed was ours. Stolen from us again and again and again. We, the people, have the power. It's a very small amount of deranged or who knows what kind of souls or entities running this world. There's way more of us. And now we stand. We say, we the people have the power. What if we the people have the power had to be us taking back our technology in our own body, our light body? And this is like all of this attack on us is just forcing us to come into our power. It's just boomeranging. It's pushing us into that corner where we say, all right, I've held back. I thought I was keeping myself safe. I thought I was keeping my community safe. I agreed to it. I didn't want to cause any trouble. I didn't fit in. I didn't want to be burned at the stake. Now it's unleashed, okay? Because we need to talk about Chiron as the wounds, it's the deepest wounds. In Aries, it's life force. It's where you gave, this is the Yeshua story, right? Sacrificing our life and all the times that supernova souls have had to compromise your life's work or your life itself or your energy, and it's been absconded, used by the dark side, stolen from you. And these are the wounds of Aries, except for that there's an indication that underneath the wounds of Chiron, under any wound, what's the reason for the wound? What was the reason for the attack? What's underneath the wound? And Chiron says when you heal that wound, it's a superpower. And the superpower of Aries then, if it's like where we gave away our life and life force, would be unbridled life force. Are you ready for life to come back into your life? Because basically, if we take this concept of our God-given rights to our own power and our own energy, the ideal that America was founded on, then we're talking about this energetic wealth, our own power. And so we the people have the power has a different meaning, it has a different look. Get ready for the light brigade. because we don't have time to be scared anymore. There's no time for fear. Like this Aries energy is just blast off in the rocket. Are you going? Are you not going? Yes, you don't know what's coming. This is the message. The more and more that supernova souls, what you're going through right now, of like feeling more centered in yourself, feeling like you're owning your power and all that, the more you're doing that, clearing away the old and the relationships that are no longer serving you and all that stuff, the more you do that, the more you feel better, you're feeling more confident in yourself or your truth. But also, what's coming along with that is more unknown about the future. And it doesn't make sense. It seems like we should have more clarity at this point of where we're going and what we're doing. But the message is that this new reality that we're landing and what this whole astrology is all about, it's like, what if it's like so outside of our current conceptual reality, right? So we can't even see it. And so the mother says, just keep breathing. Breathe with me. If it's not clear, your way forward, your next step, because that's all you get to see, right? That next crumb. And if it's not there, stop and breathe with me, she says, until you get clarity on your next step. If it doesn't feel right, doesn't feel certain, stop and breathe. Stop and be. Stop and align. So the more we are heading in the right direction, the less we know where we're going. And we need to be okay with this. And so this is the message that's coming through so much, because everything about this eclipse is saying a doorway to a whole new world, an end and a beginning. We had all this, we had Venus and Mars in Pisces, and then now we still have Mars in Pisces. And Mars just came off for the eclipse, Mars was just after the eclipse. Mars and Saturn came together on the 10th and the 11th of April, and we're still feeling the effect of that for the next couple of days. And Mars and Saturn is like, Mars is our get up and go, and Saturn, we talked about the laws and rules of this reality, and Mars and Saturn together in Pisces, Mars is saying, all right, let's go on the reworking of this reality. Right? Like, let's put a wrench on it. Let's open up the floodgates. Let's move some energy. Mars is the ruler of Aries. So it's massive activation back to life force, back to being alive, back to being this energy coming in is like, it's funny because we talk about in Christianity, there's a concept of being reborn, right? And this kind of energy of revelation. But this, like, imagine all of a sudden, like life flowing through you. We've been living on a tiny fraction of the energy that's ours. And this light coming in, it's not just energy in our body, but it's love, it's spiritual revelation. And it's just like, whoa, just like we can't stay here and just slowly die anymore. We have to claim and get in the rocket and say yes. And we don't, and it's so hard not to know where we're landing. But this is the energy that's coming forward around the Scorpio full moon coming up, is that landing a new reality, right? We're a little bit in free fall, leaving it all behind, and what's there to catch us? And we kind of felt this way for years, really, because this eclipse happened at 19 degrees and of Aries, and this is Mercury is now retrograding back through. So today, or on the 16th, Mercury comes into conjunction with Chiron at the exact point of the eclipse. Okay, so Mercury's like 3 times over this eclipse point. Are you going to get the message? At 19 degrees, and Chiron is at 19 degrees. So we're talking about these deep wounds of giving away our life force. And 19. So 19 is a very powerful number in numerology because it's got the 1, which is the beginning, a 9, the end, and then 9 and 1 make 10, and you drop the 0 until you have a 1 again. So it's the beginning, the end, and the new beginning. It's also a number representing authority, to claiming our own authority, the high king. There's this divine masculine activation coming with this Mars transits and all this Aries energy of, like, the whole Camelot story, the divine masculine, the knights of the round table searching for the grail, and this once and future king and present king being reborn within us, like leveling up to who we really are. as leaders, as spiritual leaders, into our crown chakra. Crown chakra activation all the way. The king is being crowned because Jupiter represents the new king. And so Jupiter and Uranus coming together is just like the enlightened king. You know? The lightning bolt activated king. And so this is what we're living. So it's very powerful that Mercury is retrograding over this point 3 times. The second point is happening right here on the 16th with Chiron over that. So it's like, what is this really about? And helping us to uncover these deep wounds and find what's underneath the wound. Okay, because the wound, it's like it got covered up and healed, but there's still scar tissue, maybe a deep underlying infection. Okay, so this eclipse with this conjunct Chiron, 19 degrees, the end, the beginning, the new king, it's like going into the wound and like cleaning it out, you know? And I was like, I gotta relive crap from the Piscean age, you know. Um, but then it can heal completely and wholly. And that's what this Mercury retrograde. So it's very powerful because we're in the wound, right? We're going on a journey in the wound, into the wound, in order to be free of all trauma programming, all woundedness, free of it. Something we just played out like a story. And now we're done. Now it's new chapter. And so Mercury will retrograde back to meet up with Venus on the 19th. And this whole week, this is what we'll be feeling all the way through the 21st. And they meet up at 17 degrees, very powerful number, because 1 and 7 is 8, and that's transformation. And so we're talking about, this is qualifying the whole eclipse season. This Mercury retrograde hooking up with Venus. And this happens just after going over the eclipse point for the second time in Chiron, and just before reaching back to the north node at 15 degrees Aries before turning direct. So the main energies of this Mercury retrograde have been conjunction with the north node and conjunction with Chiron. Now Venus, going backwards, first just met up with the sun. That was on the 12th, and then met up with Chiron, now meeting up with Venus, and then the north node. So the Venus conjunction is on the 19th at 17 degrees. And so this is clarifying the whole eclipse season. It's like, this is what this is all about, you guys. Mercury had to go back and get the goddess. Mercury had to go back and retrieve the feminine and be like, oh gosh, girl, I'm falling back in love with you. Your way was the way all along. Let's build a garden and a fountain and feel the never-ending abundance of the creation energy flowing in our life again, as we honor and love and live in mutual receptivity with the feminine, the divine feminine, our mother goddess, the way we've always done it. Every single culture, indigenous culture on this planet, lived in connection with the earth. It's just not rocket science. That rocket we're shooting off, we're going back to earth. We're going back to our mother, our real living mother, not a fake AI reptilian version. You know, we've all had this like cold-heartedness in this life, and here we are. We're all love. And it's like they didn't want you to have any one little scrap bit of love, true, authentic love, because then you would know the love that you are and the incredible love in your heart. And this is a very powerful energy of these times too, coming through for supernova souls. Like, okay, we've all been in these narcissist relationships and dealing with these people that want to suck our energy and never offer anything. And, you know, just this, we know this dynamic. Why? What do they have? What do we have that they want? What are they're willing to go through all of this to get our energy? And yet we're over here in poverty. When are we going to start enjoying our own energy? You know, like this is what we're being told and asked to do in this Aries, like containment of our potential, that we hold it and not leak it out and we don't give it away. And it's hard because that's all we've ever done in order to survive, right? Like, oh, here, take a little bit so that won't come after me. I'll dim my light a little bit, give you a little bit, spread it around, and then I won't stand out and I won't, be persecuted or targeted. This isn't working for us anymore. Absolutely not. Source did not bestow this gift upon us and all the work we've done over lifetimes for us to leak it out anymore. Until you are feeling bliss and joy and the mother's love in every moment of your life, you are not owning your energy. She wants you to feel completely adored and cared for. Like, not with the physical, those things manifest, but this is an energy. And like resting in her love and her arms. And that is our energetic abundance. And it's so beautiful this has happening in Taurus, right? Because that's what Taurus is all about. Taurus is the form, the life, the support for life, the resources to support the growth of life. And I think everything is saying, coming back to this thing of Jupiter, Uranus, expansion, and higher technologies, it's like, this is when we claim back our technologies. This is when we say, oh, that's our energy. Yeah. You stole it in Atlantean time and created a direct energy weapon. And guess what? That's all you have left, and it's not working. You got your most powerful weapons. You got your CERN portal. You got your this. It's not working. Because human consciousness is more powerful. And this is when we stand in it. And our individual will say, I'm in control. I'm in my own juicy abundance of this feeling cared for and loved in my own, your universe of connection to the mother and your world, your new earth, walking around. And all that comes near you must comply. All must come into alignment in your world. And it's so beautiful. And then we connect the dots. And Gaia is reborn. And this is what we're doing. So this is the energy of the Scorpio full moon that's happening on next Tuesday, April 23rd. And the activation will be at 10 a.m., like I said, on April 23rd, Tuesday, Mountain Time. So this Scorpio full moon, like I said, it's the culmination of the eclipse season because it's the next lunation after the eclipse. And it happens at 4 degrees Scorpio, 18 minutes. So at the very beginning of the sign. Now, these early degrees, especially of these powerful signs, Scorpio, we know it's a powerful sign. It's a fixed sign. And the very early degrees of the fixed signs are determined and resolute. And so in Scorpio, the energy is around depth of experience and connection, passion, real life, real living. And there's just this incredible desire welling up in the supernova soul with the Scorpio full moon of just like, oh, we've been allowing ourselves to live in poverty because we've been surrounded by narcissists that want to feed on our energy. And we got to step aside and put ourselves back together and be in our abundance and come back together and have an exponential abundance as we join together two or more as supernova souls in intention and in love with the mother coming back home. Oh yeah, this is what we've been doing all along. Every single one of Yeshua's teachings, the mother's teachings, it was the divine feminine all along. That's who we've all ever wanted to worship and fall in love with because she provides. And we celebrate that with her. In this world, in this manifest world, that's the way it is. And the light comes and infuses so that she can create. And we all live in abundance because that feminine creation energy is supported and held and loved and adored, And yet the patriarchal energies were just about owning and controlling. Like, what? You're over there, a single woman enjoying yourself and your own energy? Oh no, that's illegal. And so it's like all of these souls that have been secretly worshiping the goddess lifetime after lifetime, standing up. So this is a big message. If you're feeling this, like if you're feeling that you're part of this tribe, like these scenes, they were goddess worshiping, going back to the ancient Egyptian mysteries, basically Isis mysteries, right? Isis cult. And so if you feel this alignment of this love for her and this awakening and this feeling of her, she's been palpably showing up in our lives and our meditations. And so the energy of this is like one of the tenets that came through the Gospel of Mary Magdalene is this kind of walk forth and proclaim, like live the truth of the goddess, or not in so many words, but we know that's what she was saying. And so this is the message coming, like, how about we step into this truth? This is why we were persecuted every single time, because we were doing the mother's work. And now all we need and all we want is the mother's work, and we got it. See, we're the wealth of this world. And so can you walk forth and proclaim, like literally preach, not in the way that like preach the goddess, but live in your field the goddess, preach the goddess, and proclaim the goddess in the way you live your life, in every breath and every step of your connection with her. And that in this deep commitment, in alignment, because we don't know what's coming. We can't figure out what's around the corner. We're just like totally lost, but we know her. We know her, and she's got us, and it's her ascension we're going with. You know, that's why we worship her. Hello. And so if you are in that energy of this devotion and this realignment in your being over lifetimes, and just let it come, don't force it, right? But that's a really important energy, that it's kind of like how we find each other, by our commitment and alignment with her. And then our other, our brothers and sisters, soul brothers and sisters that we've been looking for and wanting in our life for so long, like, can show up. And so it's kind of like it's such a powerful energy, her field. It can work around all the blocks and bring us back together in just like this very powerful magnet. And so this is kind of the picture that we've, the part of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, you know, because it's in Taurus and it's an earth sign, an embodiment. So we're talking about higher frequency, the embodiment of higher frequency vibrations in the earth and our body. And so preach the goddess, walk forth and proclaim, live accordingly in alignment with every step and every breath, so you can find them. That's her message. So the Scorpio full moon, really powerful at those early degrees of Scorpio. And guess what? That puts as a fixed sign, it puts the sun and the moon, you know, they're opposite of each other for the full moon. So the moon, the sun in Taurus and the moon in Scorpio, square to Pluto. Now, Pluto, I haven't talked about this, but on the 11th, Pluto made it to 2 degrees Aquarius, as far as Pluto's going to make it. Okay, so Pluto is at 2 degrees, and it's so powerful to have this Scorpio full moon at 4 degrees, only 2 degrees away. And so leading up to the full moon is going to be really intense, those couple of days. It's on Tuesday, the 23rd. So like Sunday, Monday, the 21st, 22nd. Whoa. And that's when we have the Jupiter Uranus exact conjunction. Also, Mercury's getting ready with the North Node, getting ready to turn direct. It's all happening at once, you know? And so those days leading up to the full moon and the full moon, this T-square with the sun in Taurus, moon in Scorpio, and Pluto in Aquarius. So tension. And the energy of this is like, are you really ready to move to the Aquarian age? Like, are you really ready? Like, can you handle this? Where are you going? You're going to shoot off in your rocket? Like, do you know where you're going? And so the full moon in Scorpio is a shadow, a search into the depths for deeper meaning and purpose and connection. And the Taurus energy with Jupiter and Uranus together, so powerful. That activation of that higher power. So in Scorpio, the shadows that are coming up, that are keeping us from deeper connection, have to do with the fear programming of our own power. And this is the opportunity when we clean it all up, okay? Because the T-square is pointing right to Pluto and Aquarius. And the information that's come through my readings is that Atlantean time with the catastrophes, that's where they used our energy to create these catastrophes, our technologies, and blamed us very deliberately. Very deliberate setups, and then catastrophe. So you blamed yourself. If you understood right now and forever and in that moment, go back and say, hey, tell yourself, That was a directed energy weapon. You did not cause that catastrophe. you know, can we get out of the rubble? So we cannot heal. We can't move into this Aquarian age until we heal the past Aquarian age of Atlantean time. It's everything is about this because all that they have left is the weather technology and HARP and, to try to create natural disasters and directed energy weapons. And it's like, that's not even working. So the whole paradigm of our whole slavery on Earth is around cataclysm versus connection to the mother. Do you see why we must go back to the goddess? We can't get anywhere without her. And Mercury is going back to get her on the 19th at 17 degrees for a transformation. So again, coming back to the Mercury-Venus conjunction, clarifying the whole eclipse season, saying it's all about going back to the goddess and the roots and the garden and what really matters and the love and the healing. And we can't go forward without it. So it's very powerful. And then Mercury goes to the North Node and will be right there with the North Node for this whole week until it turns direct on the 26th. And so it's confirming, Mercury North Node is confirming that this is a new direction forward. We're reworking this. Mercury retrograde is like adjusting to this big activation so we can figure out how to really move forward. Chiron, get out from under the rubble and the wounds, right? So they created this whole thing to keep us trapped. Our wounds are keeping us trapped. No more. It's our energy, our power. We take it back right now. So where have we been leaking out our power? Through our wounds. Okay, so we're healing our wounds, releasing our superpower of unbridled life force to heal and regenerate, And then Venus retrieving the divine feminine in the picture. And then North Node, this is the new direction forward. Now, the feminine energy, divine feminine, and the persecution of that in a male or female body, we've all experienced it when we were healing, loving, connecting people to source, connecting people with the mother. And we have to understand that part of the thing that's been stolen from us is our power and our connection to who we are as a healer. This is Black Moon Lilith in Virgo. So Black Moon Lilith is at 2122 Virgo, right when all this stuff is happening with Jupiter and Uranus. Jupiter and Uranus also at 2122 degrees of Taurus. So they're in trine to each other. And it's very beautiful, actually. Because the other thing that's happening, okay, so Jupiter and Uranus coming together, they're also sextile Mars in Pisces. And in trine to Black Moon Lilith, Mars will be opposite of Black Moon Lilith in Pisces. It's so dynamic. So let's talk this through because Jupiter and Uranus come together at 21 degrees from the 18th to the 21st of April. And on the 19th, Mercury crosses over Venus, right? So it's saying, yes. Okay, going back to this. Okay, the idea was interfered with, so it means it's really important. The Black Moon Lilith energy is bringing forward the wounds having to do with our ability to heal. We were always persecuted because of our healing. Our healing is our power. Healing is directing life force, directed energy healing. So when we take back our world, we're going from directed energy weapons to directed energy healing. It's so beautiful. And so, but some of us are dealing with a constant attack, it feels like. And the mother's message is like, if that's happening to you, it's showing you how powerful you are in your ability to regenerate. This is part of the mysteries and the higher technologies that supernova souls have worked with in past lives. The ability to literally regenerate our body through our breath and our intention and through our directed energy. So if we are coming into healing the wound and coming into our superpower of unbridled life force, that's so we can regenerate our body every day. Every day we have to regenerate because they're trying to, radiate us within an inch of our lives. Except we have the power of regeneration. And this is the really important nugget that I found in the Edgar Cayce readings that came through around Yeshua's experience and the truth of what really happened in his resurrection. And he said that it wasn't a new body, it was he regenerated. And with help, of course. There was always so many souls supporting the whole story of what happened in those times, and that's us. So we have, if he's telling us that we can do what he does and more, then we can regenerate our physical body, miracle style, with our access, our newly claimed access to our own life force, and that unbridled life force, sending it in our energy every day, every moment, every breath, to regenerate these tissues that these harmful technologies are trying to destroy. And when we do this, we breathe the breath of life. The cool thing is about it, it's not like oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange, like where you're, it's like the more you breathe the breath of life, the more you exhale that possibility to those around you. So it's more and more. And finding that we don't actually breathe oxygen, we breathe electricity. We are electric, and that's exactly what they're trying to interfere with. So coming back to Uranus, Jupiter, it's like expansion of our true power, that we're electrical beings, and taking it all back. No more running your data through our bone marrow. No. Ours, our contained energy field. And the mothers, our body, her body, we're containing, we're owning the temple. So Jupiter and Uranus come together from the 18th to the 21st at 21 degrees, and then from the 25th on the 25th and 26th of April at 22 degrees. So it's really powerful. 21 degrees, 22 degrees. 21, 2 and 1 is 3, and it talks of creation. It's a very powerful number because you've got the 1, you got the 2, the 1 and the 1, and then you've got the third, which is the creation, more of the parts, And so it has all of it. It's also 3, 2, 1, go, right? Now 22 is more stable. And this is really interesting why the Scorpio full moon seems to be saying that now it's time to land a new world, because the Scorpio moon happens at 4 degrees, 18 minutes, and 4 is a number of stability, like 4 walls. And also in Scorpio, it's a fixed sign. So it's like kind of an energy of stabilizing a new reality, which kind of sounds, it's like more in alignment. We don't have to just stay in between in the complete unknown of forever, And the mother says, it's okay, just keep breathing and your next step will become clear. So it's really powerful that Black Moon Lilith is at those exact degrees, 21 and 22. So what we have is Jupiter and Uranus together in Taurus. And then Mars is at these same degrees on the same days in Pisces at 21, 22 degrees. And so that's a sextile, 2 signs apart, 60 degrees, very beautiful. It's like creative solutions. And we can figure this out. And it's like Jupiter, Uranus, massive expansion of the higher power that we are in our true wealth and abundance, and embodying that energy in the earth and in our body. Sextile to Mars and Pisces. Mars, our warrior, that divine masculine king, spiritual leader, activating and pulling the sword from the stone in this beautiful sextile. So Mars is in between Saturn and Neptune, and saying, well, we got to rewrite the story of the Piscean age. And we have to go back to what the true energy of Yeshua's teachings and the whole signature of the Piscean age, what Yeshua really was bringing us, is the right use of energy. Isn't it time we take it back now from the control forces? The right use of energy. And the mother, awake, alive, reborn, she says, no more. No more using my resources and technologies to cause harm. It's all hers. They all must come into alignment. And in our bodies, as we regenerate and claim life force and claim our body, claim our energy field. So it's so powerful to have that sextile with Mars, our warrior, coming online, divine masculine activation. The king is crowned. higher vibrational king that's going to show us how to turn our light body on, you know? But get this, Mars is opposite Black Moon Lilith, but Black Moon Lilith is trine to Uranus and Jupiter. So it's saying that the Black Moon Lilith is deepest, darkest secrets. In Virgo, it's of the feminine. In Virgo, it's around healing power. Healing power. So this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is a massive infusion of healing power into our world. Of the Most High. Of the High King. Of the present and future and once and always. Divine, masculine, and this support and unveiling of the embodied earth, light body of earth, and our light body too, right? Her body's our body. And then, so the Black Moon Lilith is these deepest, darkest secrets around like the shame and the energy around like all of the destruction energy, sexual shame and distortion. It's this misuse of energy, but it's all the same energy. Sexual energy, creation energy in the lower chakras is one thing. In the higher chakras, it's something completely different. And they don't want us anywhere near that shit. They don't want us to access our creation energy in our higher chakras. It's just like massive spiritual light and love and clarity. And this is what's trying to come through. Like I said, it just feels like a higher chakra activation and a releasing of all shame around a lot of the shame we carry. Because we know supernova souls have been programmed with shame. And it's around our healing power. Because that's exactly what we were programmed to think created the Atlantean catastrophes. And then we were persecuted as healers again and again. You know, so it's like, oh, and there's that energy, go get it, you know. Don't be healing the people. Don't be setting them free. Isn't it interesting that in the persecutions, they couldn't allow one true light worker? Not one. Does that mean it only takes one of us in our full power to turn this whole ship around? This is what we have to understand. What's the wound about? Why were they targeting you? Because of your spiritual power and this healing force, this massive healing life force, which has been cloaked and hidden in shame. And when you go to activate this energy, or it just activates on its own what's happening, you can find yourself replaying attack. And just know this is just part of it. The minions are going to attack the light. Can we just get over it now and stop taking it personally? There might be backlash. And you know what? Maybe it's telling you you're owning your power, because you can just be like, oh, there's the backlash. And I'm here. I'm not adjusting. I'm just going to say, hey, that's interesting. You know, because it's almost like with your light and your healing power, and you step into a situation where it's like you're popping it like a zit. And they're like, bleh. And of course it's going to come back at you, but it just flies off, because now we're radiating our light. You know, and we're not shameful of it. There's nothing bad about it. This is the most beautiful power in the world. And in a female body, if you have a lot of access to creation energy, you have been shamed to high heaven, and you've been controlled, and you've been owned. And then it's like, how do we feel safe and okay in coming back into our power, our creation energy? And we have to kind of remind ourselves how pure and beautiful and the healing power of it. And that's what the Black Moon Lilith is cleaning up. So it's so dynamic when you have like an opposition with Mars. So it's like facing down, tension, but then trine with Jupiter and Uranus. And then Mars is in sextile with Jupiter and Uranus. And so it's like just this really beautiful turning the wheel of time here. And so we rebuild our world, and we incarnate our light. We take back our power and our life force and our healing, and rewrite our world, rewrite this reality. And that's that energy. Like I was saying, it just feels like there's energy coming of kind of establishing something new, some frameworks, that can kind of catch us in this leap. But know that that was a massive gateway portal. The eclipse, I got to view it in Texas, and had mostly clear skies, light cloud cover, so a really powerful, beautiful viewing of the eclipse. And the powerful thing about this eclipse that they didn't want us to see was that in its totality, there was one point of light. So a ring of light and one point of light. And it's like, what is that? What is that one point of light? You know, is it solar flare? Is it Nibiru? Is it this? There's something very deep and mysterious about it. But then some eclipses, like the last eclipse in 2017, they called it more of like a wedding ring where you have a diamond, you know. It doesn't go to complete totality, and there's one little point of light. And so this one, we had complete totality, but a tiny, tiny, tiny point of light, like a tiny diamond on the ring. Then as the totality came out, there was a bright flash of a diamond ring just as it came, you know, comes out of totality. And it was so beautiful because it was like, we haven't even talked this, how long have I been talking? An hour, and we haven't mentioned the South Node in Libra, you know, healing these relationships, the painful relationships, moving into those soulmate relationships and supernova soul tribe relationships. And so what a beautiful message of this divine marriage with two wedding rings, one with a tiny diamond, and it was like the divine feminine in receptivity waiting for the flash of light, the big diamond, and receiving that in the cup, the Holy Grail, divine union, divine marriage within. And so that is the portal gateway of this eclipse, you know, coming back into our hearts, huge heart chakra activation. All these pictures of sparkly gold and a toroidal field of golden light. And the toroidal field was made up of white light that seemed to be associated with the divine feminine of this absolute purification. And then the golden light of the divine masculine. And together this white light, golden light, like the white gold wedding band ring. And so the other picture was a huge heart chakra, because that's a balancing of our masculine and feminine, and then also a third eye awakening, and that seems to be continuing to come, and a picture of a beautiful honeybee, the golden nectar of what's available in our higher chakra awakening, in what they've never wanted us to attain. And here we are, stepping into this. And so enjoy your Jupiter Uranus activation, and may you find the balm of this higher frequency vibration, of this secretions of the pineal gland freed and released to back into your co-creation, into your love, into your spiritual truth, into your life force, and truly living this new chapter where we leave it all behind and we step through into the unknown, make the leap, get in the rocket, shoot off, see where we end up. And so the honeybee was a beautiful picture of growing wings and third eye, and also the nectar, the honey, the balm that's available for us in these times if we wish to be present and receive this activation. And so a beautiful higher chakra activation of the golden light of the heart, beginning to communicate and growing wings, and beautiful messages of the honeybee, of perfect order of the divine feminine, and perhaps as we come back to the goddess, a beautiful model of how we might want to establish our society as we come back into this mutual receptivity, this beautiful buzzing of the bee. I've been also seeing a picture of the mother of like this animal, this beautiful creature who's, you know, mother dragon, who's beginning to awaken. And we at these certain chakras and our presence with her and our love of her, putting our healing hands, our healing power with her, feeling the energy, and inviting her body and our body to purr and to heal and to come back into alignment. It's so beautiful. So don't let this doomsday unknown tax season crap get you down, because it's a new world and we're stepping right through. So just be present as you can. You know, that message to go to your sacred space on the astral plane, or in your in nature, real life, or whatever. Be in your teepee, your wigwam, your kiva, your longhouse, your sweat lodge, your sacred space for these moments. It's a time, it's 24/7 vigil through the Jupiter Uranus conjunction, and the effect of that actually goes all the way through the first week of May, but we'll be feeling it mostly through the rest of April. So if you want to and can come back into this deep commitment and alignment with the mother right now, as she's donning her robe, her golden light, and receiving the mantle and the blessings. And we are donning our golden robe as well. And so can we be present with her as much as we can, every breath and every step, and walk with her and recommit and understand that this is what we've always been doing all along. And all we need to do is to just realign and be present with her. And that brings us each other and our true path of our true purpose. This is what this Aries eclipse was really about. Like, you can't live your life. You can no longer live your life. It's a slow death if you're going to live your life out of alignment with who you are spiritually. So we got to drop it all the wounds, all the stories, get out from under the rubble. Everything goes back to shame and programming about who we are as the light. What's underneath the wound? Your superpower. Bust it out. It's time. There is no better time to activate and bust out your superpower. I know you don't necessarily know what that means or what it is, but she does. She's got us, and we've got her, and we've got each other. So thank you so much, Supernova Souls. We did it. There was a showdown on this eclipse. There was an energetic showdown of the forces. Everything trying to keep us from this activation. It didn't work. It still happened. You didn't have to see it. You didn't have to be there. You didn't have to anything, It's like, can you feel it? It's like, and it's continuing to work, this activation, and expand. And it's very connected to the Jupiter Uranus. And so really the time frame of this whole thing is the Mercury retrograde. And Mercury turns direct on the 26th of April. So we've got the Scorpio full moon. So first of all, we've got on the 16th, Mercury Chiron. Mercury going backwards, kind of replaying, right? Instant replay. Whew. And like, we're going deep in the wound. Going to get all the infection out, all the implants out, all the foreign energy out. And so then on the 19th, Mercury, Venus, and then Mercury will be going right into that conjunction with the North Node. So Venus goes over the North Node, meets Mercury, and Mercury goes back over the North Node and then turns direct. So it's saying the only way forward is the feminine, but containing our energy and being in alignment with her. A new world is based on her love, being cared for. Beautiful. And so Mercury will turn direct. So then we have the Scorpio full moon, and the Mercury turn on the 23rd, Tuesday, and then Mercury turns direct on the 26th, on Friday, next Friday. So then, boom, Mercury direct, right? Now we still have to wait for Mercury to come out of shadow, and that happens. Mercury comes out of shadow on the 14th of May, then moves into Taurus on the 16th of May, and then squares up with Pluto on the 18th. And this is kind of a marker of the completion of eclipse cycle mid-May, and very powerful then that Mercury will go activate while Jupiter and Uranus will still be pretty close together, and Mercury will go on to give us another Mercury. Venus and Mercury will both be taking their time going over Uranus and Jupiter, kind of prolonging the activation energy over the next month or two of this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So don't miss it. Absorb it. This was the message too of the eclipse. It's like, let the light codes in. Look at the sun. Let the light codes in. I take it. I take the activation. I take the light codes. I return. I accept my power being returned to me. And what a beautiful moment to be alive. I'm so glad we made it and we're here. And thank you so much, because I called on you, and I'm sure you felt me calling on you as I was in Texas facing down the energies. And I was so amazed and in awe of the power of the supernova souls and the army that we are together of light workers, and that I could feel your presence and energy from all over the world. And that holding space for this activation to occur, and it did, and we won, and there's no going back. Nothing can stop this. We've come too far now. Their forces, they used all they could, on this eclipse, and still the activation occurred. And thank you, supernova souls. couldn't have done it without, we couldn't have done it without each other. And it was so cool to just feel, sometimes you feel you work and what have I built? Where's there to show for all this? And then it was like, oh, there's an army to call on. And so I felt you there with me, and I appreciate it, whether you knew it or not. But Supernova Souls, what's our next project? Who knows? We'll see where the rocket lands. So I love you so much. Thank you so much for your support. The membership group, $10 a month, gets you a monthly video a weekly video update, and access to the Supernova live chats on the Telegram channel, and lots of resources for Supernova Souls. $20 a month gets you all that, as well as entry into the new and full moon activations and live sharing circles after. A great way to stay connected and come and speak your truth and be the leader that you are, Supernova Soul. So I can't wait to spend more time with you, get to know you, and a beautiful chapter lies ahead as we move with the mother and heal our bodies and heal her body, and her body heals our bodies, and we come back into the way life should be according to her, the Per. So thank you so much for your support and for going through all you've gone through, Supernova Soul. You're a rock star, and massive, powerful, activating times here. So it's just such an honor to know you and be connected. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.